Welcome back to Pro Caitlin TV, the channel where we cover the biggest stories, debates, and viral moments surrounding Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, and the WNBA. Today's story has fans completely divided after Indiana's tough loss to the Atlanta Dream. What should have been just another regular season game quickly turned into one of the most discussed topics in women's basketball. Social media exploded with opinions. Analysts started debating what went wrong, and fans began pointing fingers in every direction. Some blamed the coaching staff. Others blamed execution on the court. And right in the middle of the conversation were Caitlin Clark and head coach Stephanie White. The reactions have been intense, and the discussion is only getting bigger. Let's break down everything that's got the basketball world talking. One loss, that's all it took. One disappointing performance against the Atlanta Dream, and suddenly the Indiana Fever found themselves at the center of a storm that nobody saw coming. Within minutes of the final buzzer, social media was flooded with reactions. Fans were frustrated. Commentators were asking tough questions. Basketball analysts were debating every possession, every coaching decision, and every missed opportunity. But what really caught everyone's attention wasn't just the loss itself. It was the reaction afterward. As discussions spread online, many fans started debating who deserved the most responsibility. Was it the players? Was it the coaching staff? Was it simply a bad night against a determined Atlanta team? Caitlin Clark's name appeared in thousands of posts. Stephanie White's name appeared in thousands more. The debate quickly became emotional. Some people defended Clark. Others defended White. And before long, what started as a basketball conversation turned into one of the biggest WNBA discussions of the week. But here's where things get interesting. The more fans talked about the loss, the more questions started emerging about leadership, expectations, pressure, and what this result could mean moving forward. And that's where this story takes an unexpected turn. The Indiana Fever entered the season carrying enormous expectations. Much of that attention naturally surrounded Caitlin Clark. Ever since arriving in the WNBA, Clark has become one of the biggest stories in all of sports. Every game attracts viewers. Every performance creates headlines. Every result generates discussion. That's the reality of being one of the most recognizable athletes in basketball. But with that attention comes pressure. A lot of pressure. Fans expect victories. They expect improvement. And most importantly, they expect progress toward becoming a championship contender. So when the Fever suffered a difficult loss against the Atlanta Dream, reactions were immediate. Some fans focused on individual performances. Others focused on team execution. Many pointed toward coaching decisions. Social media quickly became a battlefield of opinions. One group argued that Clark was facing unrealistic expectations and couldn't possibly carry every game herself. Another group believed the team needed more consistency from its stars. Then there were fans who focused almost entirely on coaching. They questioned rotations. They questioned game management. They questioned adjustments made throughout the contest. Sports talk shows picked up the conversation. Basketball podcasts started analyzing the game. Everywhere you looked, people seemed to have a different explanation for what happened. What made the discussion even more fascinating was how passionate fans became. Supporters of Clark defended her strongly. Supporters of Stephanie White pointed out the challenges coaches face during difficult games. Others argued that basketball is ultimately a team sport and assigning blame to one person oversimplifies a much larger issue. As the conversation continued growing, media personalities joined in. Some suggested the Fever were still learning how to handle heightened expectations. Others believed the loss represented a valuable learning experience. Several analysts emphasized that successful teams often face adversity before reaching their full potential. But not everyone was willing to be patient. Some fans wanted answers immediately. They wanted accountability. They wanted improvement. And they wanted to know exactly what needed to change. That's what transformed this from a normal post-game discussion into a much larger debate. The focus shifted away from one game. It became a conversation about the direction of the entire team. And that conversation was only getting started. As the days passed, the reactions became even stronger. Instead of fading away, the discussion continued spreading across social media. Every new comment seemed to create another wave of debate. Fans replayed key moments from the game. They analyzed possessions frame by frame. They discussed coaching strategies. They debated player decisions. And through it all, the spotlight remained firmly fixed on Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White. One reason the conversation became so intense is because expectations for the Fever are incredibly high. People don't view Indiana as an ordinary team. They view them as one of the league's most important franchises. That's because of the attention Clark brings. Every result feels bigger. Every victory feels more significant. Every loss feels more disappointing. That reality creates pressure on everyone involved. Players feel it. Coaches feel it. The organization feels it. Fans certainly feel it. Some supporters argued that criticism directed toward Clark was unfair. They pointed out her impact on the game extends beyond scoring. Her passing, her court vision, her ability to create opportunities. All of those things contribute to team success. Others argued that great players naturally face greater scrutiny. That's simply part of being a superstar. Meanwhile, Stephanie White also found herself under intense examination. Many fans discussed coaching philosophy. Others questioned strategic decisions. Some defended her leadership and pointed out that every coach experiences difficult losses. What became clear was that people cared deeply about this team. The emotional investment was impossible to ignore. Every reaction reflected passion. Every debate reflected expectations. Every opinion reflected hope for what the Fever could become. At the same time, several analysts attempted to calm the discussion. They reminded fans that seasons are long. Teams evolve. Chemistry develops over time. One disappointing result doesn't define an entire year. Still, those messages didn't completely slow the conversation. Fans remained engaged. The questions continued. What changes should be made? How should the team respond? What lessons could be learned? Most importantly, how would the Fever bounce back? Those questions became central to the discussion. And as people searched for answers, attention shifted toward the future. Because many believed the team's response would ultimately matter more than the loss itself. Perhaps the most important lesson from this entire situation is how much attention now surrounds the Indiana Fever. Not long ago, a regular season loss might have generated limited discussion. Today, it's national conversation. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. It's also evidence of how much women's basketball has grown. Millions of people care about these games. Millions of people have opinions. Millions of people want to see what happens next. The Fever now operate under a spotlight unlike almost any other team in the league. That spotlight creates opportunities, but it also creates challenges. Every mistake is analyzed. Every decision is questioned. Every result becomes part of a larger narrative. The Atlanta Dream game demonstrated that reality perfectly. What happened on the court became only part of the story. The reactions afterward became a story of their own. Fans debated leadership. They debated coaching. They debated expectations. They debated the future. In many ways, those conversations reveal how much belief people have in this team. People aren't upset because they don't care. They're upset because they do. They believe the Fever can achieve something special. They believe Clark can help lead the franchise to new heights. And they believe the organization has the potential to compete with the best teams in the league. That's why emotions run so high. Moving forward, the focus will shift toward improvement. The Fever have opportunities ahead. More games, more challenges, more chances to prove themselves. The best response to criticism has always been performance. That's true for players, it's true for coaches, and it's true for teams. Many fans now view the next stretch of games as extremely important, not because one loss defines the season, but because how a team responds to adversity often reveals its character. Will the Fever use the criticism as motivation? Will they come back stronger? Will they silence doubters with results on the court? Those questions remain unanswered. But one thing is certain, everyone will be watching, and judging by the reactions we've already seen, the next chapter of this story could be even bigger than the last. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think was the biggest reason behind the Indiana Fever's loss to the Atlanta Dream? Do you believe fans are putting too much pressure on Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White? Or do you think criticism comes with high expectations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's discussion, make sure to leave a like on this video. It helps the channel grow and allows us to continue bringing you the latest WNBA news, Caitlin Clark updates, Indiana Fever stories, and the biggest debates in women's basketball. Don't forget to subscribe to Pro Caitlin TV and turn on notifications so you never miss another breaking story, viral reaction, or major development from around the league. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video right here on Pro Caitlin TV.